Have you ever found yourself wondering, how much time do I really have left? Not in a fearful way, not in dread, but in a quiet, honest, deeply human way. After we cross that milestone of 70, something shifts inside us. Every sunrise feels more precious. Every grandchild's laugh, every quiet morning cup of coffee, every breath, they all begin to carry a different kind of weight. We stop chasing more and start cherishing what we already have. But here's the truth that few people talk about. Your body is whispering to you all the time. It's quietly offering clues, gentle nudges, subtle signs about how much road might still lie ahead, and more importantly, what kind of journey it will be. And if you pay close attention to these signs, you just might discover how to live not only longer, but better. This is the story of those signs. Let me tell you a story. Two men, both 75 years old, born in the same year, grew up in the same small town, laughed at the same jokes in school, danced with the same girls at prom, and both served their country with pride. But today, they live very different lives. Joe starts every morning with a brisk walk. He moves with purpose. His back is straight, his steps are steady, and his eyes are clear. He still cooks his own meals, remembers his grandson's soccer schedule, and keeps a notebook of projects he wants to finish before he gets too old, he says with a chuckle. And then there's Frank. Frank used to be strong, used to work with his hands, but somewhere along the way, he began to slow down. He moves carefully now, relying on his cane. He tires easily, he forgets things sometimes, and blames it on old age. He doesn't leave the house much anymore, and when he does, it feels more like effort than joy. Two men, same age, same beginnings, two completely different paths. Why? The answer lies in 7 powerful signs that scientists, doctors, and researchers have been quietly studying for years. Signs that reveal the difference between simply growing old and truly living. Let's begin with the first. Sign 1. Your walking speed, the pace of life itself. Did you know that how fast you walk can actually predict how long you'll live? I know that might sound strange, but it's true. Study after study has shown that walking speed, especially after 70, is one of the strongest indicators of overall health and longevity. Walking touches everything: your heart, your lungs, your muscles, your brain, your balance. Joe, from our story earlier, walks with rhythm. He crosses the street confidently. He can climb stairs without thinking twice. His body moves with harmony. Frank, he pauses before curbs. He takes each step like he's unsure where the next one will land. His muscles hesitate, his breath shortens. His pace is his body's way of saying, I'm struggling. Walking isn't just about getting from A to B, it's your body's report card. The good news? You can improve it. You don't need a gym membership or fancy equipment. Start with a short walk around the block, then a little farther the next day. Keep going until your legs remember how to trust themselves again. Because the faster and more freely you move through life, the longer you just might keep moving at all. Sign 2, grip strength, the power in your hands. Now let's talk about something you might not expect: your grip strength, your handshake, the ease with which you open a jar, the steadiness with which you carry your grocery bags. It turns out, your grip is more than muscle. It's a mirror. A strong grip reflects good circulation, solid nerve function, and muscle vitality. A weakening grip, it can signal muscle loss, frailty, and even increased risk of falling or hospitalization. Think of your hands as the messengers of your entire body. If your grip is slipping, chances are so is something else beneath the surface. But again, there's hope. You can rebuild it. Start with something simple. Squeeze a tennis ball. Use light hand weights. Open jars instead of asking someone else to do it. Use your hands. Every day, train them like the precious tools they are. Because how well you hold on to things today might be a glimpse of how well you'll hold on to your independence tomorrow. Sign 3, balance, the silent strength. Next is something we all take for granted until we start to lose it: balance. Can you stand on one foot for 10 seconds? It's harder than it sounds, and more important than you might think. Good balance means strong legs, a sharp nervous system, and a healthy brain. Poor balance is often the first warning sign of deeper issues: muscle weakness, nerve decline, even early dementia. When Nancy, a 73-year-old grandmother, started wobbling during yoga class, she thought she was just having an off day. But it kept happening. At home, in the garden, while reaching into cabinets, her body was speaking to her, and thankfully, she listened. She began working on her balance, slowly, mindfully, and over time, she didn't just stop the decline, she reversed it. So try it today. Stand tall, lift 1 foot, count to 10. If you struggle, that's not a failure, it's a signal. And signals are gifts, because they give us time to act. Sign 4, sleep, the healing hours. Sleep, glorious sleep. After 70, many people assume that poor sleep is just part of the deal. But the truth is, how well you sleep is a powerful predictor of how long and how well you'll live. Sleep is when your body repairs, your brain clears toxins, your heart rate stabilizes, your immune system reboots. Henry, a retired school teacher, sleeps soundly from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. every night. He has a routine: no screens after dinner, a short walk before bed, and a cup of warm chamomile tea. He wakes up refreshed, focused, energized. Bill, his old college roommate, is different. He tosses and turns, wakes up tired, naps too much during the day, his mind feels cloudy, his heart feels heavy. It's not just coincidence, it's biology. The quality of your sleep tonight shapes the quality of your life tomorrow. So if sleep has become elusive, don't brush it off. Adjust your habits. Talk to your doctor. Turn your bedroom into a sanctuary. Because a well-rested body is a resilient one. Sign 5. Your appetite and eating habits, a quiet mirror of the soul. As we age, food becomes more than just nourishment. It becomes memory, comfort, ritual. The aroma of fresh-baked bread can take us back to our childhood kitchen. The sound of a sizzling skillet may remind us of Sunday brunch with the people we loved. But there's something deeply telling about what, when, and how we eat, especially after 70. Appetite is one of the most underappreciated indicators of health in older adults. A fading interest in food is rarely just a matter of preference. It's often a whisper from the body, a quiet message that something deeper is shifting. Margaret, 74, still savors her meals. She cooks with care, chooses whole, colorful foods, and sits down to eat with intention. There's life in her plate and in her spirit. But Susan, also 74, finds herself skipping meals more often. "I'm just not hungry," she says, and she means it. But with that loss of appetite comes something else: fatigue, irritability, and an invisible unraveling of the body's strength. What many don't realize is that as we age, digestion slows, taste fades, and hormonal shifts affect how food appeals to us. But beneath all that, a shrinking appetite can be a signal of more serious issues: nutrient malabsorption, declining muscle mass, even the early stages of cognitive decline. The danger here isn't just weight loss. It's the slow erosion of strength, of energy, of immune function. When you're not eating enough, your body begins to borrow from its reserves, starting with your muscles. And once those fade, the path toward frailty becomes steep. But there is hope. Eating well after 70 isn't about big meals. It's about thoughtful ones. Small, frequent servings of nutrient-rich foods, simple smoothies, protein in every bite, and perhaps most importantly, turning meals into moments of joy again. So ask yourself, are you still hungry, not just for food, but for life? Because a steady appetite is a sign of a body that still believes in tomorrow. Sign 6, your ability to handle stress, the silent architect of longevity. There's a story I once heard about 2 men, both widowers in their 70s. John faced each day with quiet strength. He volunteered at the community center, wrote letters to his grandchildren, and kept a small garden where he grew tomatoes and daisies. He had faced hardship, yes, but he never let it harden him. Then there was Richard, a kind man but weighed down by the years, the bills, the loneliness, the memories he couldn't quite put down. He worried in silence, held on to stress like it was his only companion. Over time, his blood pressure crept up, his sleep suffered, and so did his spirit. You see, how we carry stress after 70 is one of the most profound predictors of how long and how well we live. Chronic stress isn't just a feeling. It's a biochemical storm inside your body. It triggers inflammation, it suppresses the immune system, it damages the heart, the brain, and even your ability to heal. And yet, stress is not the enemy. It's our response to it that matters most. The truth is, everyone has burdens, but some have learned how to breathe through them, to find peace in small rituals, to talk, to laugh, to cry when needed, and then to keep going. Maybe you journal each morning. Maybe you listen to music that calms your soul. Maybe you sit in the sun or walk among trees or call a friend just to say hello. These are not little things. These are lifelines. Stress management after 70 isn't a luxury. It's medicine. So ask yourself, when life knocks, do you brace or do you breathe? Because your ability to stay soft in a hard world may be the very thing that keeps your heart beating for years to come. 7. Your social connections, the invisible thread that holds us together. And now, perhaps the most human sign of all, we are wired for connection, not just emotionally, but biologically. The presence of others affects our hormones, our brain activity, even the rhythm of our hearts. After 70, isolation is not just a feeling, it's a risk factor. Let's return to Eleanor and Barbara, both 78. Eleanor is part of a local book club. She calls her sister every Thursday. She volunteers twice a month and bakes cookies for her neighbors. There's laughter in her kitchen, warmth in her voice. Barbara, on the other hand, has drifted. Life moved forward, but she stood still. Her friends moved away or passed on. Her family is busy, the phone rarely rings. The house is quiet, too quiet. Loneliness doesn't announce itself with a bang. It seeps in, it darkens the corners of the mind. It suppresses immunity, raises cortisol, and increases the risk of heart disease, depression, and even cognitive decline. But here's what's most heartbreaking. It's also preventable. Connection doesn't have to mean a crowd. One meaningful conversation, one hug, one friend who remembers your favorite song. These small moments are big medicine. Even a weekly call with someone you trust. Joining a walking group, attending a class, volunteering at your church. These aren't just activities, they're lifelines. So if you've been withdrawing, if the silence around you has grown louder, know this: it's never too late to reconnect. The people you love may be waiting for you to reach out, and your body may be waiting too. Because connection, more than we ever knew, keeps us alive. Final thoughts, what these signs truly mean. If you've made it this far, I want to say something from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Thank you for caring enough to reflect, to ask the hard questions, to wonder not just how long you will live, but how deeply, how fully. The 7 signs we've talked about: walking speed, grip strength, balance, sleep quality, appetite, stress resilience, and connection, aren't tests to fear, they are invitation. Each one is a mirror, quietly showing you where you are and where you still can go. And here's the most important truth of all. These signs are not fixed. They can be changed. Strength can be rebuilt. Connection can be rekindled. Peace can be found again, even in the quietest places of your soul. You are not at the end. You are at a turning point. So walk a little more each day. Pick up something heavy. Stand on one foot while you brush your teeth. Eat with joy and intention. Sleep with care. Find a ritual that brings you calm. And never, ever stop reaching for the hands that remind you you are not alone. Because longevity isn't about adding years to life. It's about adding life to your years. A gentle request from the heart. If any part of this video touched you, if it reminded you of someone you love, or helped you see yourself more clearly, we'd be honored if you shared your thoughts with us in the comments below. Your words are not just feedback. They are stories, wisdom, and encouragement for others walking this same path. If you know someone who needs to hear this message, please pass it along. You never know whose life might change because you shared something that mattered. And if you'd like to see more content that informs, inspires, and uplifts, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell so you never miss another moment with us. From all of us here, thank you for being part. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care of your body, your heart, and the people you love.